Day 5 is all about hydration. And it might seem really obvious, but there's actually quite a lot that I remember when I first started looking into this. Um, I got quite a surprise as to how important it is. And it was actually about 5 or 6 years ago. I was homeschooling my kids, and we did a project all about, we called it Habit Rabbits, and they did a little project on hydration and drinking water. And so I was kind of researching it with them, and then they put together this cute little presentation. We put it on YouTube, and my daughter dies now if anybody sees her and her brother doing this little presentation. Still on YouTube. And yeah, it's pretty cute. But yeah, I remember going, wow, I didn't even know. And it was through just doing this kids project that I actually worked it out. It's all about choosing you and your hydration. And, we all know that drinking water and hydrating is good for us. But like me, maybe you don't really know fully why it's so important. Like I used to not know this stuff. And so I just knew we were supposed to drink more water, but because I didn't really know why, I didn't understand the full implications of why I needed to choose me, my body, my mind, and this healthy mind and body. And so once we're fully aware, I think then it's easier to fully appreciate why it is a key part of our self-care. And knowing all of this stuff really, well, it helped me anyway to be more motivated, so I could take those conscious steps to increase my water intake because I knew it's actually what me and my body need. And so, first of all, I wonder if you know that as adults, we are 60% water, 60%, and our blood is actually 90% water, which is incredible, isn't it? It's such a high. So, we're just a reflection of the planet. Look at how much the planet is water. So, we are so highly, we are such high water content creatures. And that's why having the right hydration is so important and so crucial actually to our bodies and the way that they operate and function. And so I want to have a look at the different ways that hydration or a lack of hydration affects us. And then we'll also look into how we can increase our intake. And so with the blood containing 90% water, keeping our hydration levels high really helps the blood because the blood is there to deliver oxygen around the body, to deliver the nutrients to the cells, and improved organ function. Because if you don't have enough hydration, then those things are going to suffer. Can lead to organ failure, actually, if you're not hydrated enough, believe it or not. So it's so important that that blood keeps its hydration level. And of course, we are losing hydration. We lose it through sweating, like I am here now because it's super hot. We lose it obviously through other ways, but through our breathing is one of the main ways that we lose water when we are breathing in, and obviously breathing out is when we are losing it. So it's really important. Another thing is we need to lubricate our joints and cushion our joints, and hydration is really important for that. So if you've got arthritis in the family, or you've already got arthritis, it's especially important, but it's important for everybody because as we age, it just naturally is that we need to really help the process even more. So definitely to lubricate those joints. We don't want to have that pain, right? And also in that same way, it protects the spinal cord and other sensitive tissues. Digestion's also really important. And I remember my little boy when he was younger, we had such a bad time with him because he was going off to like a little play group. And he was so busy playing that he wasn't drinking his water. And it was the height of summer. And he got so painfully constipated. But in the end, it was a good lesson for him because I was able to say to him, look, this is what happens when you're not drinking enough water. So it leads to poor digestion and constipation and actually an acidic tummy. So I don't know if you know about acidic and alkaline environments, but our body's not supposed to be as acidic as it is these days with the kind of foods that we feed it, as well as the lack of water. And when it's acidic, we get a lot of heartburn and we can even get stomach ulcers. It's just generally unhealthy. Like acidic environments can lead to all kinds of diseases and cancers and on all kinds of things. So everything we can do to make it more alkaline, and which will improve our digestion, is going to really help. And hydration is key for this as well. One of its main functions, hydration, is to regulate our body temperature. So right now I'm feeling pretty hot, and the fact I've got enough hydration allows me to sweat appropriately to cool down. And so it's super important in water, like my little boy, to be drinking lots and lots of water, not only so we don't get constipated like he did, but so that our body can maintain body temperature. Especially if you're going through the menopause, ladies. Whoa, let's get ready for that, eh? I've not quite started it yet, but I know it's coming. I know it's not far away. Those hot sweats, hot flushes. Okay, and the other thing is blood pressure. So there's a lot of people that suffer with high blood pressure. And you see, when you're dehydrated, it thickens the blood, and that increases the blood pressure. So it's super important to hydrate to keep our blood pressure down as well. It also restricts the airways when we're dehydrated, because the body is trying to minimize how much water it's losing. Remember, I said that when we're breathing out that we are losing water. Well, we've got to do it, right? But what it will do is the body will restrict the airways, so it's not losing as much. And so any symptoms that we have already of asthma and allergies are going to be worsened. So if we want to alleviate that, we want to keep hydrated. And the other thing is, if you can swap out some sugary drinks for water, then it's going to be better for your teeth as well, right? Because the sugar is awful for our teeth, and we know how expensive dentists are. So it's another brilliant reason to go for more water. Other things is that minerals and nutrients, they actually dissolve in water. And so if we don't have enough water, it makes it really difficult for them to get around to different parts of the body. So we want to make sure for that reason we're absorbing the nutrients and the minerals, and they're moving around the body to where they're needed. One of the big things is kidneys, because kidneys, their job is to regulate the fluid in our bodies. That's what they do. And they work like crazy every day, because every day they are filtering about 200 liters of these fluids. I've put blood here, but fluids each day, but blood as well. And so they're removing about 2 liters of toxins, of wastes, and that's all happening in the process. So it's a heap of work that they're doing, and they need water to do that. They need adequate water. And so if we don't have the right amounts of fluid levels, it makes it really difficult for the kidneys to do their job, to regulate them. They need that to be able to release hormones, to regulate the blood pressure. So it's another effect on blood pressure, and to produce enough red blood cells, and to maintain healthy bones. So we've already talked about arthritis in terms of the joints, but you've got the osteo as well, which is to do with the healthy bones. Also, without that, they just can't function correctly. So the waste products and the excess fluids start to build up in the body, which can even lead to like organs failing, especially the kidney itself. And did you know, which I didn't until I looked all this up, is that the leading cause of kidney stones is a lack of water intake. And there's so many people these days suffering with problems with their kidneys and kidney stones because of our diet primarily. So if the water can really get in there and help, then isn't that a good reason? Because they're so painful and life-threatening. So super important. I don't know if you've ever had a UTI infection, another very painful thing, and also potentially very dangerous as well, because they also affect the kidneys. They're more likely to occur without the right amount of hydration. And being a vain person, one of my favorites is glowing skin, because did you know that your skin is 30% water as well? And we need that water to build collagen and elasticity in the skin, which gives it its firmness, its plumpness, and helps it to spring back into action when we get up in the morning, so we don't look like we've got lines across our face at lunchtime from our pillow. So it's so important for that as well. Also, cognitive function improves. So if we don't have that working properly, we find it really hard to concentrate, which can make us a little bit grumpy as well. And as sleep quality improves, so we're talking about sleep on the last session, our energy improves and feelings of fatigue help, they're like kind of lifted. And who doesn't want an elevated mood? Because it does help with all of these things. Another thing that it really helps with is hunger pangs, because a lot of times when we think we're hungry, we're actually just thirsty. And so if we drink more water, we obviously then don't feel like we need to eat as much because that's not even the prompt, it's thirst rather than hunger. And so it can naturally lead to weight loss just by drinking more water. There are people that go on water fasts, and I've done this as well. So I often do fasting, and I did once aim to get to the 72 hours water fast. I managed to get to 60 hours. I'm going to have another go at it again this year. But once you get to that kind of level of fasting, you go into autophagy, which helps to just regenerate the body. It's quite incredible. And that's just with water alone. So water is incredible. But I want to make it quite short today because my first sessions were quite long. And I just want to talk really about what you need and how you can help yourself to increase your intake. And so women, we need about 11 cups of water, or what is 2.7 liters. Men need a little bit more. They need 12.5 cups, or just over 15 liters. So it's quite a lot. However, only 80% of that needs to come from your drinks. The other 20% can come from your fruits. So it's really, for us women, it's about 9 cups. And for men, it's about 12.5 cups that we actually need. Now, there used to be a lot of information saying it shouldn't be caffeinated drinks because that was actually a diuretic and all of this. But recent studies have shown that it's quite minimal, that impact. So, yeah, I did go to the doctors at one point and get told I was overhydrated because of the excessive amount of tea that I was drinking. I was actually drinking decaf for a whole year. I've done that twice now. And I think it was in that moment when I was just drinking a lot of herbal teas and decaffeinated teas. So be careful not to overhydrate as well. But I don't think it's very often that people do get into overhydration. But apparently, only 22% of people actually drink enough fluids. So yeah, that's quite low, isn't it, really? So think about the 78% of people that are having problems that they might not need to be having. So foods like lettuce, celery, zucchini, cabbage, watermelon, and melon can help because they're all over 90%, up to 95% water. Some of them, like watermelon, is I think about 96% actually. And so that really helps as well because that counts. Also, water filters are great because they help improve not just the quality of the water, but the taste of the water. I actually believe in water that much that I spent about $6,000 on a Kangen water machine. For me, it's really important the quality of the water that you put in your body. So what that machine does is it actually you can get different filters to go in it, but to take out different things like chlorine and various bits and pieces. But for me, it's because it alkalizes the water. So that's what was in it for me. So it does different pH levels of the water. But you can get just standard normal filters, like even my water bottle itself that I take to the gym and carry around with me has got a filter in it. It's one of them, what's it called again? I think it's a Philips one, and you just replace the water like each year. And you can get those jugs that go in your fridge, or you can have those filters that get fitted into your kitchen on your tap. So a filter is good because there are things that go into the tap water that don't taste nice and aren't good for you. I'm not a lover of fluoride. Luckily, there's no fluoride in my water here, but if you're in an area with fluoride, you might want to look at the effects of fluoride on your pineal gland and some of the effects of that because there's a lot of distorted information about what fluoride is appropriate for, and that's why a lot of people don't want it in the water. The other thing you can do to improve the taste is to add some fruits. So lime, cucumber, lemon, strawberry, kiwi, whatever flavors you really like. But what's really good about lime and lemon in particular is that they improve the alkalinity of the water as well. So if you don't want to go out and get like a Kangen water machine, you can do it with some squeezed lemon and lime or a slice of it in there even. So it does taste nice and it's really good for you, especially if you do it first thing in the morning. So you set the alkalinity of your body early. Even better than that is juicing. So if you've got your own veggie garden, that will be easy. Stick some silver beet and kale and anything really, lettuce, just chuck it all in there, make a juice. And that will be such a massive boost to your energy, your immune system, and pretty much everything. So juicing's great, but a lot of people just juice with fruits. But if you juice with like kind of salad greens, it's even better, like celery and things like that. Carrying chilled bottles, I meant to bring one to hold up, but you know what I mean. There's lots of bottles now where they've got like markers on them. So if you do set yourself a goal, having a bottle with a marker on it really, really helps because you can see. And if you keep them chilled in the fridge, even better. Like my daughter, she carries around this massive one. It's really big with a whole day in it. But I also bought her for Christmas one of those little ones so that she can just have small amounts rather than feeling like she's got to have this big thing, which is a little bit overwhelming. And if you put them in the fridge and they're chilled, it's even nicer, isn't it? So that really helps. So it's kind of like planning for success by getting yourself sorted. Like if you've got everything ready for the day and chilled in the fridge, it makes it a lot easier. The other thing is reminders. So when I was first trying to up my water intake, I was using an app on my phone that actually reminded me. I mean, you can set alarms in your phone, but it was like a little tracker, which really helped me. And it's not something I use anymore, but it was really important in the beginning when I was, because I didn't used to drink water or like I used to just drink tea. And the only water I would drink is when I was exercising. So I was really bad at drinking water. And it was in that time when they were saying that tea was a diuretic. So I was like trying to do it, you know. But I do remember having to set myself realistic goals and taking baby steps because I was doing like a cleanse and they were like 3 liters of water. And I was like, I just don't know how I can drink 3 liters of water. I'll just be at the toilet all day. So I just needed to give my body a chance to get used to it, you know, and for me as a habit to get used to it. So let it be realistic and just inch it up when you get comfortable with that next level of water. So you don't have to do everything at once, right? And then the other thing is about I always tie in when I'm trying to do a new habit, I try to tie it into an old habit. So it could be having a glass of water when you brush your teeth on a morning, on a night. If you're a person that pees a lot in the night, you might want to start having your water earlier before bed. If you've been drinking, if you've had a wine night, drinking water before you go to bed really helps with hangovers as well. Did you know that? Probably know that. But yeah, when if you tie it into other habits, like if you're going to have a nice cuppa, maybe have some water before you start, have water before meals. Now, the other thing, there's a lady online called Barbara O'Neill in Australia, and she's got some amazing advice around nutrition. And one of the things she's been talking is about the timing of water. And apparently, if we eat too close to when we are eating our food, it can hinder actually the digestive process. So it's better to have your water like half an hour before your meal. If you can do that, it's better. And then have a gap after you've eaten just to allow the body to do its process and then the water goes in. So but if you just find that that's when you can drink water, just do it because the water is really important. But yeah, if you can time it to be a bit earlier and a bit later than rather and than at mealtime itself, it might be better. Like if you're cooking your meal, drink your water while you're cooking. It gets hot in the kitchen anyway, right? So I think that's uh a good time to drink. So I really, really hope that there's been something there for you to take away from this. And in this series, I'm touching on different things each day, different ways for you to choose yourself and choose what's best for you. But like I've said before, I just want to keep repeating this. It's not about trying to change everything at once. It's not, because we don't want to set ourselves up for failure. It's about taking baby steps. So pick something and just start with that. And then you can just follow this again and go back to them and go, right, okay, I've got my sleep. My sleep's getting a bit better now. Now I want to like tackle my hydration. Maybe it's not the best to try and do all of this stuff at once. Or if you wanted to, you could take baby steps in lots of different areas if you feel that you can and it's not too overwhelming. So it could be like, you're going to bed half an hour earlier and you're going to drink a glass of water with lemon in the morning, for example. Like those couple of little baby steps can go together quite nicely. But I just don't want you to feel overwhelmed with all of this information that I'm giving you. But I'm basically wanting to set you up with enough things to be going through in 2024 so that by the end of the year you've been able to put all these little changes together and it's actually amounted to quite a radical change in the way that you care for yourself and your body and your mind and your spirit. I'm going to leave it there for today. I really hope that that was helpful. Any feedback that you've got, please stick it in the comments below, and because I would love to hear about it. Or if you're watching this over on my app, my Sparkle Space, then you can go into the community and you can share your comments there as well. So whether it's in the Facebook group, whether it's in the app, wherever you happen to be watching this, or if you're in contact with me by messenger or email, you can send feedback there. I'd love to know how you're finding the series so far. We're 5 days in, and so we've got some more sessions coming up this week. And then yeah, we've got another 5 sessions on the well-being, and then we'll go into the skincare part. So those people that are engaging, I'm going to be coming to you soon to find out about where I'm sending your skincare samples so you can participate in week 3. I am only going to send them to people who are participating, so you need to let me know if you're watching recordings. Otherwise, I won't know, but you need them. Okay, so over and out tonight. Lots of love, and I'll see you next time. Other